MVP.
Rent to do every day. It's always been that way for me. Always been a get better mentality every day, grow every day, be a better leader every day, be a better quarterback every day. And when that rent's due, I don't plan on missing no payments. So.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to 3 in the Keystone, episode 93. New night, new location for me here. I'm on the upstairs. I got promoted to the upstairs. Al Ryan alongside me. Chris Guest will be along shortly. Al, welcome to Masters Monday.
Masters Monday. It's possibly the worst day of the year.
Yeah, we can get a little golf chatter in. Before we do, I'll go episode 93, Al. It came to me late. I had Jacob Voracek, Flyers journeyman.
Oh, okay.
Good name. But about 20 minutes ago, I was thinking about it. I'm just going to go 93 fills.
Dude, that's exactly what I had on mine. 93 fills.
93 fills. The ragtag group was a hell of a lot more entertaining than the current product we have on the field right now.
Absolutely. Whatever it takes. Listen, the only other person that I thought of was Ron Artest, because I was trying to think of, again, like basketball, like baseball, like weird, you know what I mean? Because
93 or 91?
I think he was 93 for a little bit.
He had a bunch of random numbers.
He did. He was all over the place. I think he was 93 though. With Sacramento or with Sacramento. But 93 fills. Dutch was my man. I was a big Dalton guy. Who was your favorite player on that team?
Always loved the dude, man. As much of a scumbag as he is.
Well, back then we didn't know. Back then, he was the man.
Rest in peace, Dutch. So Dutch was. I read a book this summer. I didn't get to finish it. About the 93 Phillies, and they said like the core group of that team was Dutch, Dykstra, Mitch, Kruk, Hollins. That was like the heart and soul of that team.
Yeah,
and they all hated Schilling, even though Schilling was a beast.
That doesn't surprise me. I would have guessed that if you would have given me 5 names to pick out.
Yeah. All right, listen, I have a hypothetical for you, and if you were on the internet today, you may have seen this, but I think it would be a good way to start the show tonight. So I'm sure you've seen all these hypotheticals about could you win the Masters if this. This one struck my fancy.
All right, let's hear it.
Could you win the Masters if you started every hole on the green, but you were the furthest part away from the green that you could possibly be?
You're asking me if I could go potentially this weekend, if I could have went 12 under.
Then. So let's break it down and think about the math. If you 3-putt 10 holes and you 4-putt 8 holes, that would shoot you be 10 times 3 is
30 plus 32. You'd be 62.
62, you run away with it.
There's no chance in hell an amateur is 3-putting 10 holes at Augusta from the furthest part of the green to the hole, never having played those holes. Probably most likely, if you're like me, never having played on a green the stimp meter is above a 9. So there's no way, dude. Everybody says that Augusta, it's like putting on ice. I don't have a chance in hell. Seltzer, I 4-putt from like 25 feet out at Springfield or at Paxton Hollow sometimes.
But you still got a 2-putt some of the times.
No, I'm not. no, I'm not. I'm
so
not.
I think here's the biggest question is, what if you had a caddy?
So I actually thought that would be a little bit different, right? If I just have a guy tell me exactly where I need to put the ball,
right,
that's a little different. Then I think I can 3-putt potentially 8 to 10 times. I don't know how many. I would still be 4-putting a lot though, and 5-putting a lot.
You also have to factor in legitimately if they're putting you at the furthest point away from the green or the hole, you could putt some into the water on some holes.
You could. And then what? Is it just over?
No, then you have to chip from that point.
I also think, because I was talking to my brother-in-law Kev about this, there like Homa had like a 1 foot putt at one point on Sunday, and I was like, dude, how nervous would you be over just even a 1 foot putt at Augusta?
Yeah, but I feel like
I don't mind it.
Get out of here. Get him out. Get him out.
Would you be serious?
yes, the question is, the hypothetical is, could you win the Masters if every hole you started on the green, but you were the furthest point away from the hole on the green that you could possibly be?
The answer is no, guest.
Well, Seltzer knows I'm half decent with the putt.
No.
So I might take myself on that.
I would take myself.
You
I don't
guys
know if I would take
out,
putting
out of your minds. Out of your minds.
So you can't 4-putt?
You can.
No, I'm asking. I'm saying if you average a 4-putt, now you're not going to win,
right?
Because how many par fives are on
if you 4-putted every green, you would shoot even par.
Right,
I'll take it.
And you would have had to have shot 12 under to beat Scotty this past weekend. You're gonna 6-putt and 7-putt a couple times.
Here's the question I would say: if you would start on a regular tee and a pro, I'm like an elite pro, like Scotty or one of those guys, started off like double the yardage. So like a par 4 going like 850.
He'd still win.
You think they'd still be able to beat you in the hole?
Yes. No question.
Yes. I have yet to ever hear a hypothetical with this where I'm like, yeah, I would win.
Well, because it's like golf is so hard.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It's so hard.
Yeah, I think I could do the putting. I think I could win.
You know, I always think about on what is it, Sawgrass with the island, the 16th hole, is it?
Yeah,
17th. How many balls I would lose just trying to get that on the green?
Yes, if you took 100 shots at that green, I think you land 3 on the green.
Now is that the spread? Is that the over under 3 and that 2.5?
2.5.
Because I'll take the over. I'm not saying like I could get a couple on there.
I give you a couple. I said you could get a couple.
If you got 30 shots in and didn't have one on the green yet, though, the ass would be tight.
Oh yeah, that's real tight. First of all, the ass is tight off the bat. The first shot, the ass is tight.
All right, enough about guest ass, Seltzer. Let's get into segment 1, please.
Right,
or whatever the hell else we need to talk about.
Segment 1. I got new virtual notes tonight. I gotta bring up here. Sixers finished the regular season on an 8-game winning streak, closing out with wins over Orlando and Brooklyn this weekend. However, they are the loser of the 3-way tiebreaker with the Orlando Magic and the Indiana Pacers, and thus they will be playing in the play-in on Wednesday night against the Miami Heat. I want to rant first before I even get started on breaking down this Miami Heat game.
You want to rant now?
Yeah, I want to rant. I want to rant for the Sixers. I'm going to be pro Sixers.
Oh, okay. All right. I was going to say.
The fact that the tiebreaker and the reason that the Sixers are not in the playoffs to begin with is because Orlando won the division is complete bullshit. In the NBA, divisions mean absolutely nothing. If you go to standings during the week,
they don't even have it in divisions.
You go to they just show the conference. They don't even show the divisions. If I asked you who's in the Eagles division, it's easy. It's Cowboys, it's Commanders, it's Giants. Who's in the Phillies division? It's easy. It's Mets, Braves, Nationals, Marlins. If I say who's in the Sixers division, the majority of people don't even know. Divisions don't matter in basketball. So how the hell is it one of the first tiebreakers in the event of a 3-way tie in this situation? It's bullshit.
Well, and not only that, but I agree 100% with you. But the play-in situation, it's tough because it seems to have been profitable. It does add some excitement to certain teams that would have normally cashed out. But like, I hate the possibility of rewarding a 9 or a 10 seed and putting them in the play. It's just not like that 7 and 8 seed earn the 7 and 8, and then 9 and 10 earn the 9 and 10. Why are we making them have to then at that point still re-earn again their 7 and 8 spot when they earned it originally from 82 games? I think that's BS. It's not like, and I'm not just saying it because the Sixers are in that spot. I've said it since they put this thing in there. I get why they have it as far as from a business perspective, but yeah, exactly. But from an actual competitive and basketball perspective, I think it's a joke.
The NBA can pretend that the playing games aren't the playoffs and these aren't, quote, playoff teams, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, the reality is that you have 2/3 of your damn league making some sort of a postseason, which is ridiculous. That many teams do not deserve to make a postseason to have a potential shot at winning a championship. It's ludicrous.
And how about you implement better rules where you don't have to do something this stupid in order to make sure teams don't tank? Because that's what it's ultimately about. They don't want teams to be tanking by February or March because they're the 10 spot and they're 4.5 games out of the 8 spot or 5.5 games out, and they know they're not going to get there. They want to still have that intrigue for those markets and those teams. But in reality, those teams earn those 9 and 10s. They should be at home.
Yep.
I agree, but it's also a money grab. I mean, again, they get the Warriors in the playoffs this year because they're the 10 seed in the West. They'll get a couple extra games on national TV. And the teams that are hosting, I mean, the Sixers are getting additional revenue because they're going to be hosting another game. They're taking your money, Chris.
Yeah.
I'll be their boots on the ground Monday or Wednesday night. And it's definitely extra revenue for the building. But like I said, I get it from a financial perspective. I just think that from a competitive perspective, it just sucks. There's got to be better ways that they can do that kind of stuff. The same with the tournaments in the seasons. It's the early season tournament that the Lakers won and had the nerve. The franchise that has all those rings had the nerve to hang a banner for winning the in-season tournament.
Yeah,
Right, get out of
inaugural champs.
That's insane.
To be fair, Al would have had a Carol March Madness banner in his basement had he won that one.
Oh yeah, it would replace that. Where the hell? Where am I pointing?
It would replace that picture of Jackson on the wall.
That gives a good perspective out to the weather people on the TV when they have to do the.
I know.
Matching the TV.
I was all messed up just then. You know what? I would put it right for the little door.
Still waiting for someone to come out of that door.
All right, but let's get into Wednesday. They'll be taking on the Miami Heat in a 7-8 play-in. So for those of you guys who are not aware how the play-in works, the Sixers will play Miami. The winner will get the 7 seed, and they will play the New York Knicks in the first round of playoffs. If the Sixers lose that game, they are not eliminated. They will still be in, and they will play the winner of Chicago and Atlanta on Friday night, and the winning team at that point would get the honor, and I say that sarcastically, of getting shellacked by the Boston Celtics in the first round. So Wednesday's game is extremely, extremely important. I want to get into it right away as far as the matchups and the way you see this game going. So let's start with you, Al. And let's go. Give me like your worries, your concerns, your keys. How are you seeing this game break down on Wednesday night?
So the worry is that it's the Heat. It's the Miami Heat. They're postseason. That they are a different team. We've seen it time and time again. It's foolish to believe that it won't happen again because they've showed it to us so often. Coach Spo is 39-19 against Philadelphia in his career as a coach. Jimmy Butler is 23-9 against Philadelphia, and playoff Jimmy is an unstoppable force. Those are the concerns. Now, I know that I should be taking that into account because it's history. And if there's one team that's not afraid to be an 8 seed, a 9 seed, a 10 seed, whatever, in the NBA playoffs, it's the Miami Heat. We just watched them do it as an 8 seed not too long ago. However, Bam Adebayo against Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid's his kryptonite. He averaged 19 and 10 this season, but he's only 12 and 7 against Joel Embiid. He was a minus 29 in their last game just a couple of weeks ago against the Sixers. Miami has the second least efficient offense in the playoffs as far as among all 20 teams that made either the playoffs or the play-in games, only behind Seltzer's Magic. I just don't think that this Heat team can keep up offensively. The Sixers, it's a completely different script from what we're used to. They're hot. They're the hottest team in the NBA heading into the playoffs with 8 straight wins. Joel Embiid, since returning, is averaging 39 and 5, and he's shooting about 50% from 3. I actually think, and I don't know if we're ready for predictions yet, but I'll just throw it out there because I'm this confident. I'm thinking of betting an alternate line on FanDuel. I think the Sixers are going to win big. I don't think it's going to be much of an issue at all. And I think Nick Nurse is another reason why I'm super confident this season, more so than I ever have been, or more so than I would have been in past seasons with this matchup.
The Kool-Aid, man. Drinking the Kool-Aid.
I brought me back in.
I think you're right, Al, because you said at the end, that's the main difference is our coach. And if we had Dope McGee that's leading the Bucks right now in this spot, I would go all in on what you're saying in terms of the records with the win losses with Jimmy and with Spo and all those guys against us. But the fact that we have a coach that actually knows what to do, has won a championship, and knows how to pivot when they need to in a postseason situation, I think that helps us tremendously. And I think that it's tough because we've seen, it's a what have you done for me lately situation here for the Sixers. Like, we know with Embiid out what this team has been, but we forget quickly what this team was with Embiid. And I think that this team is better now with a complete roster than they were last year. And I think that the record you could throw out the window. There's nobody, and I think they're going to win big too. I'm not worried at all about this game. I know the whole Miami thing, but I'm not worried about this game. But I will say this: the record you could throw out the window. No, the Celtics, the Knicks, nobody. They don't want to play the Sixers first round. I'm going to ask you guys this question: if you're the Celtics, I've got to think based on last year. I mean, we had them. I go back to the Sugar Shane Floyd Mayweather fight years ago. And if you remember, Al, I know you watched. Sugar Shane had Floyd rocked.
Yes, he did.
And we all stood up like this is it, and he didn't follow up.
Yep.
And he ended up losing the fight. And I see the same thing with Boston and with us in terms of we had them shook in that matchup last year. We had them against the ropes, and we let them off the hook, and they escaped. Do you think that the Sixers are even though they're the 7th seed potentially, if they win on Wednesday, the toughest threat to the Celtics in the Eastern Conference?
No.
In a playoff situation.
I don't.
Who do you think would have a better chance of beating the Celtics?
I mean, you're talking about the Sixers had the Celtics on the ropes. Miami knocked them out.
That is true.
Miami knocked them out 2 years ago.
That is
true. Boston has had the Sixers number since before this era of Sixers basketball. You go back.
It's got to turn at some point.
Does it?
At some point, it's got to turn. Please.
Somebody. This Boston team is the best Boston team we've seen. I mean, they won 64 games. So I don't see. If I'm a Celtics fan, I am rooting for Miami on Wednesday night because Miami is the team that has snake bitten them year after year. So why would I want to see Coach Spo and again a team where if Boston comes out against the Sixers and beats them game 1 and game 2, they know the Sixers are going to go in the shell. We've seen them go in the shell. Miami has no shell, especially against Boston. They have no fear of that group. So for me, Miami is that team that Boston probably fears more than the Sixers.
Boston could lose games 1 and 2 against the Sixers and still not be nervous. They'd still be confident. You're right, Adam. Miami is the only team that would go into a 7-game series with the Celtics and be confident that they could win 4 games.
Yeah.
And Boston's only lost 3 games at home this season, right?
Yeah, I think 4, but they've been unbelievable.
I mean, the year we lost to Atlanta, we were 38-4 at home. That's you never know. But I do agree with you guys. I would not bet the Sixers against Boston, but I feel like either the Sixers or the Heat in this matchup would be the biggest threat to Boston. But with that being said, I think we beat the Heat. I think that we just ride this momentum. I'm assuming that building is going to be rocking on Wednesday night, and they'll get the job done. The Knicks, though, is going to be – I think they can win that, but it's going to be a bloodbath. It's going to be fun. That's going to be a fun series.
We're going to talk Knicks in a minute, but I want to give my thing because I'm going to splash a little bit of water on everything that's going on.
No, we know you don't pick the Philly teams. We know you don't do that.
I picked the Phillies to win the World Series last year.
Go ahead.
Celtics somehow going to pick the Magic here.
Look,
all right, go ahead.
Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. Al, you've been on my side with this. We come into this game, and this is the type of game the Sixers always lose. They always lose this game. They lost Game 7 to Atlanta. They lost Game 7 to Toronto. They lost Game 7 to Boston. They always lose the big game, and they're facing the team that always wins the big game. So, why should I have confidence? I understand they're hot going into the playoffs, but this team just always seems to let me down, and I'm done believing that this is going to be any different. If they're going to win this game, it's, in my opinion, it's got to be a Tyrese Maxey game. Excuse me there for a second. I think, and I mean this politely, the honeymoon with Tyrese is over. And what I mean by that is this is his third year in the playoffs. This is the first year he's been pushed into a prominent role. It can't be Tyrese has a bad game. It's not a big deal. Like, he is on that echelon. He averaged 26 and 6 this year. He is, Al, you say he's better than Kevin Durant.
No way.
But by all means, he's put himself, he's an all-star this year. He has to be held to that standard where he is a star. And Miami doesn't have the guards to check him. They don't. They have Rozier and Hero, and Caleb Martin will probably be on him a bunch. Outside of the Christmas game where Maxey was just terrible, Maxey scored 32 points per game against this Miami team. I think he's got to be the guy. Miami's going to be keen on Joel. Maxey has to. He can't have one of these games where he has 22 points on 20 shots. That's not going to work on Wednesday night. So for me, it's got to be a Tyrese game. But I just don't see it. And what's the over under you think before the first Joel limp happens? I'll give you like 3 minutes in the second quarter before he starts limping.
See, now you're coming from a hater perspective. Right?
I'm coming from a realist.
You're coming from a hater
Happens
perspective.
every time.
Listen to me. It's a new year. We got to clear the past. All right, the past you can't change. The future hasn't happened. All right, it's time. We're reeling. We're gonna send out the lights to the boats out in the ocean. They're reeling them in. All right, we're coming home. This is the tide turning right now. It's gonna happen when we least expect it. This is the time.
I never thought. I did not think I'd get reeled back in. I was still talking about trading Embiid as recently as the trade deadline.
You should trade him. He can't stay healthy.
The script on this season is just so odd in the sense that Joel got his injury out of the way already. It's so weird.
I heard again the other night.
I know. I know they're roping me back in, but this is what I let them do it to me. I don't know why I feel so confident about this game, but I do. I really truly believe they're going to win by like 15 or more. I really do. I don't think Miami can keep up with them.
Al, I'll tell you why you feel that way, because the East is so wide. Like, you got Boston, and then everybody else is even. Any of these matchups, anybody can win these matchups, including us. Boston, I can't talk about a script. I can't imagine Boston. I know that they're good, but they've got questions. They've got guys like Porzingis. We got to see what playoff Porzingis looks like for him. They've got like other different situations. I can't imagine them just rolling into the NBA Finals.
And let's be real, at full strength, the 76ers, if this was college basketball, right, would you be saying that we're seeded right or that we're underseeded as a 7th seed in the East?
Sure, they're definitely underseeded.
Right. I think that we're more of a top 4 team in the East, but because of injuries and because of everything that's happened this season, we're sitting in the 7. We're not. Miami's not in the same class as us. I know, again, playoff Miami is a different beast, but I just think that in one game, I'm willing to put my chips to the center of the table. Good luck, gentlemen, and take the Sixers.
Al, the Sixers are like Repo Man in the old world. Like, we're masquerading as a 7 seed when in reality they were 26-8, I believe it was, or something like that. When Joel, before he got hurt, they were a 2 seed in the conference. Like, this team is a top 2 actually I will say top 2 seed in this conference with a regular normal situation playing out throughout the season.
That's 100% right, because look, they finished, I think, 3 losses behind the 2 seed, and that was with Joel missing more than half the season. So if he's healthy for 65 games, they're the 2 seed in the East.
They're easily going to.
They're playing great basketball. I just fear Miami, and I know they've had injuries throughout the year. Nothing as major as the Sixers, but they just kind of lie in the weeds. If it was any other team, I would feel better about it. The Miami thing scares me.
You got to don't be scared, man.
No, but that's fine. No,
you can't be scared. We can't live scared.
Listen, guest. I remember you
can't be scared.
Maybe, hopefully, I'll be wrong, because I remember you picked a Miami team to beat a Philadelphia team in a play-in.
And I was dead wrong. What happened?
The Miami Marlins.
What happened? They got their clock cleaned.
Yeah, I hope I'm wrong. All right, I want to play this. Let's assume the Sixers do win. Let's assume you guys are right, and they move on, and they would face the New York Knicks, who snagged the 2 seed from the Milwaukee Bucks on the last day of the season. I want to know what this series would look like. Let me start this time since I'm the eternal pessimist. I actually think this is a good series for the Sixers. I think that if they played the Knicks, I think they match up pretty well. I know New York is a tough team. They have the Thibodeau DNA. The Garden is going to be a tough place to win. But this is a series that Joel Embiid would have to put his stamp on. And they have a couple bodies. Hartenstein is an underrated defensive player. He's very good. Same with Mitchell Robinson. But outside of that, there's not a lot of size. They're playing Josh Hart at the 4, without Julius Randle. They wouldn't have him. They don't have a ton of offense. I always say playoff basketball is completely different than regular season basketball, and some players get exposed. And I just can't see a team playing Josh Hart and Dante DiVincenzo, as much as I love both of those guys, playing those guys 40 minutes per night in the playoffs. I can't imagine that team beating this current Sixers roster. I think the Sixers would win that series in 6 because, again, I just think that some of these New York guys who are just like play hard, gritty kind of guys, I think that effort gets matched in the playoffs by some of these teams that have just kind of coasted in the regular season. So I would take the Sixers over the Knicks in 6, and I think it would be a series that they would pretty much take care of pretty easily, I think, on my end. Chris?
Well, I don't know how you could say that the matchup is clearly favors the Sixers. I mean, the Sixers were 1-3 against them this year, so I don't know if it's a definite shoe-in that they're going to be able to handle business against this team. This team's got dogs, man. We've talked about it all year. The Knicks they're a tough group of dudes. I know Randall's out. That'll hurt them as far as offensively as their offense is concerned in a playoff situation. But how about this? As snake bitten as the Sixers have been, there's one more team that's probably more snake bitten over the last handful of years than the Sixers, and it's probably the Knicks. Think about it. I mean, the Knicks they consistently can't get out of their own way for the last 20, 25 years overall. All right. And even to the point of what was it, last year or 2 years ago? What was this, the Trae Young? That was 21, wasn't it? That was the year we played them, I think.
Yeah.
When they beat I think Atlanta snuck by in the 4-5 matchup, and then they got us in that second round. And they played, they thought they were going to go through and beat Atlanta, and they didn't. We thought we were going to go through Atlanta, and we didn't. So both franchises have been kind of bitten quite a few times in the last handful of years. But I would argue that, I mean, I agree with you, man. I think the Sixers win the series. I hope it's 6 because Game 7 at the Garden is going to be extremely difficult for any team to go in there and do that. Not that it's insurmountable, but it's extremely difficult, and it's going to take a lot out of them physically and mentally for the next series as well if they do get by them. So I hope it is in 6. The experience plays a factor as well. I mean, that plays a factor in there. So hopefully they can get, all those things being said, they can get it done. If assuming they play the Knicks.
So if the Sixers play the Knicks, I'm assuming this will be the 2 hottest teams in the NBA because the Sixers won 9 straight, the Knicks won 5 straight. Right. 4 of those games being against playoff teams. Jalen Brunson is on a historic pace. Since March, he's averaging nearly 40 points a game, 7.6 assists, 4 rebounds. He had 61 against the Spurs. Look, but I just think, could the Knicks be tired? I mean, they're doing all this without Brunson. Anunoby was hurt for a while. Robinson was hurt for a while. Dante DiVincenzo's playing 52 minutes in the final game of the season. I just think that these guys are going to be coming in with a little bit of tired legs. And the other thing that stood out to me is when I was looking a little bit deeper at the records, do you know what New York's record was this season against teams with a 500 or above record? So against winning basketball teams, 21-28. They were
still 3-1 against the Sixers.
Well, yes, and but 2 of those wins without Embiid.
Right.
Versus teams with losing records this season, New York was 29-4. So they ate up on those cupcakes.
And that's where you come with the Thibodeau style, where those guys just bring it every single night. These playoff teams that lose these games to these bad teams is only because of lack of effort. Right. And in the playoffs, that intensity gets matched every single night, or it should.
Right. I just think that they're without Randall. I mean, I would have loved for Randall to have been healthy for this series if we play the Knicks, just to see both teams at full strength. I agree with you guys. I don't see the Knicks being able to beat the Sixers in 7 games. I think it's very telling that Vegas agrees with us because I don't know if you've seen it, but the Vegas odds for the winner of the Eastern Conference in the NBA, it's Boston by a large margin. It's Boston, right. It's Milwaukee, and it's the Sixers. The Sixers are the third favorite team in the East.
And that's because they probably feel like all year long, had they had a regular season, they would have been at worst the third best team.
Right. That's exactly.
And I think that the way Milwaukee's gone to hell in a handbasket, I think we would end up being the 2 seed. This series would have been the same, but it would have been reversed with the Sixers. It's a 2 seed, and New York is a 7.
Any guesses what Boston's odds are to win the East?
I would guess like minus 250.
I was gonna say 225.
Yeah, minus 190.
Yeah. Oh, all right. So we got a shot.
I think the question is, if you're a Knicks fan in playoff basketball, who is my second scorer? Who's the guy who, outside of Brunson, can get me 20 every single night? And I don't know if they have that guy without Randall.
And also, would you argue, I know you said before, Seltzer, that you think Embiid's the most easily star to game plan against in the playoffs. Could you say that about Brunson as a number 1 option?
No, because he killed it last year and the year
but
before.
as a number of the bona fide number 1 guy on this team, you think that he, like, I don't know. Do you think that a guy like Lowry and see, this is where I know you're going to jump on.
What do you think? What do you think Brunson? Hold on. Brunson last year was on the Knicks, 11 playoff games. What do you think he averaged?
I know he did his thing, but I mean, I'm
just asking, what do you think he averaged?
28. I don't know.
28's right. 28 and 6. 28, 5, and 6. He shot 47% from the floor. Didn't shoot it great from 3, but he's been a lot better from 3 this year. And then the year before for Dallas in the playoffs, he averaged 22. I mean, he wasn't
the guy in Dallas though. So.
But Luka missed a couple games, and he was the guy for a couple games there.
Yeah.
Didn't he drop like 40 in one of those games?
I'm done like doubting Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, I mean, I still find myself doing that, and you're right. I shouldn't, and that's probably where that comment that I just made came from, because I still feel like he's just a 6-foot guard that we can game plan against with, throwing him some blitzes at the top of the key or whatever when he's handling the ball. But I don't know.
He's a legitimate MVP candidate, dude.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Knicks, they got nothing. Like. I get it. Like, Jokic gets all the love and for good reason, but you have multiple guys across the league right now. Brunson, SGA, like these guys, without them, forget it. Their teams fall apart.
I would actually say SGA and then Brunson is my runner-up for MVP.
I would argue that I think Brunson's probably the MVP of the Eastern Conference. I think the top 3 are probably the top 3 in MVP votes is Jokic, Luka, SGA, and then it's Brunson or Tatum in the next if you're going through it, or maybe Giannis, but I think he's behind those 2.
Did Giannis play enough games?
I think he did, but not by much.
He's one of those guys. He always has to be in the candidacy for MVP as long as he's playing games.
Yeah. No, there's no
well too at this because the way their teams are structured, they're built around those guys. Yeah, man, it's going to be a fun series. And the thing that sucks is I like the Knicks. Like I there's a part of me that was going to be rooting for them. I can't now, obviously, but. And I know if the series is over and we play them and we lose, I'm not going to root for them because I'm going to be pissed off. But it's been a long time for those people, man, for that team. And quiet as it's kept, as much of a market as New York is, the top market in the country and one of the top in the world, across the sports world, they have not won squat in a long time.
They've been awful.
Yeah.
I mean, the Knicks haven't won since the 70s as far as the championship is concerned. And then overall, I mean, I think the last New York title was the Giants was it 2008?
Yankees in 2009 beat us.
Yankees, all right, yeah, the Yankees, right. And then they haven't really been on a tear by any means as far as the city's concerned with their championship. So
that's a long time. That's a decade and a half we were talking about there.
I would say,
2 teams.
Yeah.
Real quick before we wrap this up, I want to ask you guys, because of the way the season went, is there what's a successful ending for you to this season for the Sixers? Do they still have to make the Eastern Conference Finals?
I mean, I think you have to set the bar there because anything else is just getting to where we got before. And I know we came in with a little bit of a lower expectation coming into the season with James Harden question mark throughout the team. But this team with Joel and with Tyrese has been an elite team. I think their record was something like 30-8, if I'm not mistaken, with Joel this year. Something along those lines. They've been one of the best offensive rating teams in the entire league. So for me, like the bar is the Eastern Conference Final, especially with the fact that they're going to be on the side of the bracket where they're not going to see Boston, assuming they beat Miami. If they lose to Miami, my expectations are done at that point. I don't see them beating Boston, but they need to get to the Eastern Conference Final for me to say it's a successful season if they beat Miami.
And I would say too, if they played Boston in the finals, in the conference finals, I think a lot of us, myself included, would have a lot more faith in pulling the upset in that situation because we've had a lot more momentum going forward to that spot and all that kind of stuff. But I'll ask you guys this: if we lost Wednesday and we win on Friday, we play Boston, and we somehow upset the Celtics as an 8-1, does that make the last 7 years of losing to those guys worth it to knock them out in the first round as an 8?
That was my part 2 to this question, Chris. I was going to say if we somehow beat Boston as an 8 seed, and then if we lost in the next round to Cleveland, would you consider would you consider that a successful season?
That's such a Sixers.
He's so Sixers, dude.
So Chris, I'm gonna say something that's gonna piss you off even more. If we lose to Miami, I'd rather just lose to Atlanta or Chicago. I don't want to waste.
That's literally.
I don't need to waste five nights of my life watching the Sixers lose to Boston.
We almost beat them last year.
Yes, it's
We're a better team.
They're better now.
Man, listen, I'm not. I'm still fighting that out. I'm not going to sit there and be like, "Oh, the guy's bigger than me." I'm just going to sit in the corner and let him just take the belt. No, I'm not doing it.
I can't lose to them again. It eats at me. But let's close with this because this will be probably the key to everything else. Outside of Joel's physical health, it's the obvious elephant in the room. What is the biggest key to postseason success for the Philadelphia 76ers? Chris, start with you.
Coaching. I really believe that. I think coaching is the difference. I think it's going to in our favor for sure than we've had previously. We had Brett, who was a great teacher, great dude, connected well, but X's and O's in the postseason just never got over the hump. And then Rivers is just what we know what he is and what he's going to be, and he's going to show it again this year with that team. Nick Nurse has got it done before. And he's gotten a lot out of teams that, if you look on paper, were very suspect. That Toronto team that we beat, was it last year or 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
On paper, like that team was not impressive to me at all. But they played their ass off. They played well as a team. They played good team ball, good team defense. He got the most out of those guys. Some of those guys ain't been right ever since. And I think he can do the same with us.
Good answer. Al?
I'm kind of on the same page. I need Nick to be 2 steps ahead and 3 steps ahead and 4 steps ahead. And I need him to be ready to react when Joel's getting double teamed, when Tyrese is getting a bigger guard defending him on the perimeter. Because this team wins when Tyrese scores. They're 29-16 when he scores at least 24 points. And they also win when Nick uses Embiid as a facilitator. They're 15-1 when Joel gets at least 7 assists in a game. So I'd like to see Nick get creative, and I need him to be, because we know what defenses are going to throw at us. We've seen it the last 7 years. So we need Nick Nurse to be creative and ready to react and change the game plan and put these guys in a position to maximize their abilities. And that's it. If they do that, I really do like this team. We said as long as Embiid stays healthy. So if we're assuming his health, I really like this team, man.
Al, we're on the same page tonight. You've seen my man's been he's been dropping them dimes since he came back.
Yeah. And I love it.
That's the best he's looked passing the ball in his career
ever.
In the last few, since he's come back to the games.
And it's because guys are cutting. There's guys moving. It's not everybody's just standing around. You got 2 guys in the corner. You got a guy in the way. Like, guys are moving, dude. I don't know. Right. We'll see.
I worded the question a little bit sketchy so that I could slide this answer in. the biggest key outside of Joel's physical health is whether he can take the next step in the playoffs as that type of player. And you mentioned, Al, the way he's been passing. We've seen it all in the regular season. We've talked about it. There will be the question of whether postseason Joel, under Nick Nurse, who is a better coach and can put him in better spots, can be that same dominant guy that he is in the regular season, because we've seen his peers do it. Nikola Jokic has done it. We can't use the excuse that you can't build around a center, because he's done it. Giannis has done it. Obviously, we've seen guys like LeBron and Anthony Davis. They've won titles. Kawhi has done it. It's his time. We can't sit back on the injuries. We can't sit back on the fact he doesn't have a bad coach. The situation is ripe. He has to show us that he can take that next step as a superstar. And without that, it's forget about it. It's done. Even if he's healthy.
Yeah, I don't disagree with any of that.
All right. But listen, guys, there are other teams in the NBA playoffs this year. So rather than break down all the first round series that we've done in past years, I thought it would be cool to play do a little draft, a game with you guys, where we're going to do a draft that we're each going to get 6 teams, and we're going to add up the number of total wins at the end of the playoffs, and that will determine a winner. So I did their draft order, and it is me, Chris, and then Al. We're going to count playing games. Will count as playoff games. So if the Sixers win Wednesday, that counts as 1 win for them. But I have the first pick. I actually am not happy that I have the first pick, because I'm going to have to go with the team that we already discussed. But I will go with the Boston Celtics at number 1. As I mentioned, 64 wins, top 5 defense. I was trying to look it up now, but I don't have it here. Point differential, one of the all-time best. Starting 5 with no weaknesses across the board. It's them, and then there's another team out west that I think could be 1A and 1B for this. But I'm just taking Boston at 1 because I think the East is a little weaker than the West. So I'll take the Boston Celtics here at 1-1.
Yeah, that's the obvious pick.
Well, I know that we talked earlier about the East being, aside from Boston, everybody's pretty easy. And I think that the West is the same. But I'm going to go with the reigning, defending NBA champions and take the Denver Nuggets. I think that they have the potential to repeat as Western Conference champions, maybe even NBA champions. But I think I can't trust the Thunder. I know that they're a 1 seed, but their age scares the hell out of me. I know that they're a good team, and it's not a dig on them, but Denver's battle tested. They're champions. It's going to take a lot to run through those guys, more so than anybody else. So I'm going to still take Denver.
Yeah, that's the right pick at number 2.
Yeah,
Al, 3 and 4 to you.
Yeah,
This is where it gets tough.
I wanted 1 or 2, Chris. I guess I'll let you wear the Denver hat that I adorned tonight, because I wanted to take those Nuggets. I wanted to cover all my bases. So with this pick, you're kind of either looking at a couple of young teams, Oklahoma City, Minnesota, or you're looking at a couple of older teams that can make some noise, like the Clippers, the Suns, whatever, the Bucks. Even though it feels kind of like a trap, this Oklahoma City team feels a little bit like that Sacramento team from last year, who the moment might be a little bit too big for them right now because of their age, their youth. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take Oklahoma City here. Best record in the West, 33-20 against winning teams, which was the best out of all the teams in the West this year. I'll go ahead and I'll ride with Shai Gill, man. I took my lumps criticizing Shai Gill on Twitter long ago, and I've come around on him. So give me the Oklahoma City Thunder with my first pick.
I'd love to see it, Al. I'm here to see it. Like I said, their age just scares me. It's a lot. NBA playoffs is for men.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I actually had them 3rd too, but it was close because it's a cluster in that vicinity. But you had to do a complete 180 on Shai Gill, man. You were trashing him, but listen, I was on your side for a while, but he is the truth.
He is. He's very, very good, and it's going to be scary when he adds that 3-point shot, because that's the piece of the game that's missing. All right. Look, with this pick, I either have to take Philly here and go with the heart, or I can go with the head. And I think the head pick is probably to take the Bucks. But I don't want any parts of that snake, that coward, that bigot, that sycophant. Doc
Bigot.
Rivers.
That sexist bigot pig.
I want a team I can cheer for in this run. So I might have the Nuggets hat on, but I got the Sixers shirt on. I'm going to go ahead and take our Philadelphia 76ers with my first pick in the second round.
I didn't see your logging in the chat. That's
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, so you're on the board with Philadelphia and Oklahoma City. So Chris, back to you for second pick of the second round.
Dude, this is it me, or does it just feel like this whole playoffs is just anything can happen? Like, I don't think there's a clear cut. Like, I mean, Boston is the only 60 win. I think the only team to 160, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the other guys were 57.
I feel like it's so wide open. I guess I'll revisit last year when I'm gonna come 180 here. I hated Dallas, and I thought that they were a mess getting Kyrie and finishing the way that they did, and they've shown me a little something this year. And they're the 5 seed. They're playing the Clippers, who I don't trust them for a lot of other reasons other than age. And I think they might be able to make a little bit of a run here. I'm going to take Dallas.
Wow.
Chris, I had Dallas as my 4th overall team. I think Luka Doncic, his numbers this year are completely. I mean, a lot of people are voting Jokic for MVP, and rightfully so. Luka's 34, 9, and 10. He's had unbelievable year. And the thing about him is he's shown a knack for being there in the big moments. He has owned the Clippers in the playoffs. He's done it to them before. He whooped up on Phoenix in Game 7 that one year where they beat him by like 40 in their gym. I love Luka. I think he's primed for a playoff run.
And he's due for one, Seltzer. You're 100% right.
And part of the thing you have to look at in this type of thing is the second round and who they match up against. They could, if they beat the Clippers, they can win some games off of Oklahoma City, if not beat them.
Yep.
And we also have to, unfortunately, give Kyrie his credit, because Kyrie has had a year where he's been under the radar and has had a really good season. And the two of them together is a scary team to go against if they're clicking.
That might be the best thing for Kyrie, to be under the radar, to be honest with you. I think this, like, the fact that we haven't been talking a lot about him at all this year and he's been silently just doing his thing, I think is the best thing for him and that team.
And I think he's fit into, I mean, obviously peak Kyrie and the best Kyrie version of Kyrie we saw was when he played with LeBron. And maybe he's just meant to be that second guy. I mean, they tried it in Brooklyn with Durant, and obviously that went wrong because of who they are. But I think he fits better there than he did in Boston, as when they tried to make him the guy.
It's crazy to me that, speaking of guys, Dante Exum somehow found his way on this Dallas team and is actually like a pretty integral part of their team. I think he's their best on-ball defender, but he's been in the league for 10 years. It feels like he's been in the league for 20 years, and it actually feels like he's been out of the league.
Well, he has. He was out of the league for a while.
He was overseas.
He just came back.
Shanghai Sharks, ni hao.
Yeah, he's yeah, I don't know what organization or whatever he was with, but he definitely wasn't in the NBA for a while until this year.
Well, good for him fighting his way back.
Yeah.
All right, comes to me for 2 here. And I'm in the same boat as Al, where I'm staring at that one team, but I'm not doing it either. I'm not picking the scumbag. I have them as my number 5 team on my list just because of the pedigree that they have and the potential path, but I'm not doing it. So give me, unfortunately, I'll go Phoenix.
They have them.
I agree. I'm not in love with the pick, but they still do have Durant and Booker, who seem to have clicked a little bit towards the end of the year. I believe they were 7-3 in their last 10, drawing a Minnesota team that I have zero faith in to win any games. And then if they win that, unfortunately, they'll get Denver, which is obviously not a great matchup either. But I do think that they can go in and win the Minnesota series against that team, because they do have the veterans and they have the experience to do so. So give me Phoenix. And then I'll take, unfortunately, even though I kind of bashed them today, I didn't think they were a great playoff team, I'll take New York. New York played Miami last year in the playoffs. If they get Miami or the Sixers, even if they don't win that series, I still think it's a 6 or 7 game series. So I'm going to get a couple wins in the first round. And if they do win that series, I think they can take an Indiana or Milwaukee at that point. So I'll ride that train. I'll take New York and I'll take Phoenix.
It's already getting ugly.
See, so I'm going to. I guess I'll see your Knicks pick, and I'm gonna take the Sixers. We've talked about how they potentially could.
And I'll take the Sixers.
Come on, man.
Oh man, my fault. I didn't. I must have. I did not.
You know what? In honor of Commissioner Diversa, when he let everybody have who was it, like Algie Crumpler that one season or whatever in fantasy, we'll go ahead. We'll go ahead.
No, I got another pick.
I'll get the Sixers.
I got another pick. I'm sorry, man. I was looking at my screen to see what was going on with the rest of the brackets here. So,
now you get the Hawks. That's it.
I'll take my sleeper team, and the team that I think is going to win their first round, and that's Indiana. Indiana can score the hell out the ball, but we know in the NBA playoffs sometimes it's a different gear for defenses. So we'll see what happens with them if that carries into the postseason. But I mean, I looked the other night and they had, what was it, 86 at halftime against Atlanta the other day. I mean, those guys, they drop buckets. And I think Milwaukee's ripe for the picking. And if we didn't get them, and the next worst team for them, I think, to draw was the Pacers. In fact, they might say the Pacers was even more fearful because they are division, quote unquote, rivals, and they've had their number this year. They played them really well. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that was also in games with Giannis.
Yeah, they took him out in the in-season tournament.
Yeah, so I don't think they want no problem with the Pacers. So I'll take Indiana.
Yeah. No, it's not a bad pick. I do think they have a shot in that series, especially because Giannis is battling that calf injury, and we don't know. They're saying that he may not be ready, and even if he plays, he won't be 100%. So I don't think it's a bad pick at all. So Chris is in with Indiana. Al, back to you for 2.
Indiana won 4 of the 5 games they played against Milwaukee this season too.
Yep.
So they might have their number there.
They're a little dangerous.
They are. I mean, I think when you got a guy like Tyrese Halliburton, you got a chance against anybody. He's a very good player. Somebody that Adam hated on earlier this season.
I still don't think he's that good. But
yeah, that Ben for Halliburton trade would have been ridiculous right now.
I mean, listen, I think Halliburton's really good. I just don't think he's like, if you ask the consensus around the NBA, who's better, Tyrese Maxey or Tyrese Halliburton? Almost everybody's going to say Halliburton, and I just disagree with it.
Yeah, it could be a little home bias.
Could be.
All right, I'm going to take the Clippers here. This is a team that at one point in the season was everybody was on the Clippers train when Harden looked like he had things together. When you have Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and James Harden in your starting lineup, that's potentially the best trio in basketball. Now you guys are smirking. Is one of these guys injured?
Kawhi's a little banged up, but I think he's going to play.
He's always
I'm smirking because if I took you back to this time last year, you took Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the Sixers, who you have no faith in, and James Harden, who you have no faith in. That's your team so far.
Yeah, I think I shit on the Clippers too at one point. Last year.
They're the worst. They got no guts.
Don't need.
I would pick the Hawks
over the wins against Dallas. Guys,
Kawhi got guts. Kawhi's done it. The other guys, you got to worry about.
Kawhi got his bag and his ring. He's done. He don't care.
He's got multiple rings, multiple Finals MVPs too.
Yeah, if we're trying to take teams that could potentially win, like if I'm racking up wins here, all I need is the 4 wins against Dallas. I think they're a tough matchup for Oklahoma City, that young Oklahoma City team, if they win in the first round.
Yeah, we're at the middle of the pack here. I don't think it's a bad thing.
I'm trying to look ahead. So give me a team with home court. I'm taking the Clippers, and I'm still going to leave the Bucks off the board. I'm going to take the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves are the best defensive team in the NBA. How can you not root for Ant? I know that, how can you root for Gobert and how can you root for Cat? Naz Reid, potentially 6th man of the year. He's JJ Redick's 6th man of the year. I was listening to his podcast a little earlier tonight. The Timberwolves are a team that I can get behind, so I'll take Minnesota with them.
Yeah, and if there's anybody listening that for any reason knows why there was that huge Naz Reid sign at WrestleMania last week, please let us know. because that was really like catching my eye the whole time I was watching it because I was like, who makes that?
That was Mama Reed. It had to be.
It might have been.
All right, Chris, to you here.
All right, so I was thinking about taking Minnesota with this pick, but do we get more points if it's a lower seed?
No, it's just wins or wins.
All right.
Take Orlando so Seltzer can't do.
Yeah, I'm tempted to do that. Actually, I am tempted to do that, but I'm going to take LeBron. I'm going to take the Lakers, and here's why. I think that if they lose on the road to the Pelicans, and then they end up hosting that next game against either Sacramento or Golden State, I think they win that game, and I think that they could, with LeBron and AD, I think they could upset the Thunder. That's why this playoffs is going to be like something's going to happen, like something big or something or in plural or singular is going to happen in this playoff series or this season, this playoff season. Because these matchups, man, like these teams, this is wide open, especially the West.
Yeah, we knew the West was going to be a dogfight coming into the season. The East is like a pillow fight, though.
So I heard a hot take for the Lakers. So the Lakers are in the same boat the Sixers are in, where the winner of that playing game with New Orleans plays Denver. There's a hot take that the Lakers should tank that first playing game to try and get Oklahoma City.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I could
play with fire.
Yeah,
play with fire because you might draw the Warriors,
right?
But it would be interesting to see if they were able to pull something like that off.
And either one of those teams is dangerous for the Thunder. Like that, like sure. That's a great accomplishment they got that they won that conference this year. But now, man, you're talking about playoffs being a situation where men are, driving these buses, so to speak, of these franchises. What bigger men in the league than Steph Curry or LeBron? First round.
Oklahoma City wants New Orleans in the worst way.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, goes to me for 2 here. I'm kind of stuck in between because my next 2 teams I have ranked are both kind of wild cardish. But I'll go with the team that I picked to win and I'll take Miami. Just because of I think even if they beat the Sixers, I think they can give the Knicks a good fight and win some games there. If they draw Miami, or if they draw Boston, they're drawing blank, I think, this year. And I'm gonna do something I don't want to do, guys. I'm gonna take Cleveland. Orlando's been my team all year, but I just don't think
God, you're such a rat. You jumped off the ship in the game.
Let me tell you something, Chris.
Dude, I was
laughed at this podcast when in the preseason I said that Orlando Magic would be the 5 seed in the East. And where did they finish?
Listen, man, come on. You know better than that. You know why they finished where they finished at.
I've been adamant all year since the beginning of this podcast, playoff basketball is different than regular season basketball. Orlando's got a bunch of guys who haven't been there. They struggle offensively. Al mentioned that earlier. I'll just take the more experienced team. I don't really love Cleveland and what they have going on right now. But I just think that Donovan Mitchell's been there. Those guys had took some shots last year, Mobley and Allen and Garland. But I think that series goes 7. So I'm getting some wins either way. So give me Cleveland.
That might be the lowest watched playoff series in I don't know how long.
That's NBA TV City.
Oh my God!
Oh yeah!
Dude, like it has to be. Who's watching that? I don't play unless it's before our game. I don't plan on watching any of that series.
I'll be tuned in.
I can't. Dude, seriously, you gotta step up to the plate. All right, you're sitting there all year long riding these dudes, and then we play a game where only 2 teams don't get picked, basically, and you can't pick them.
I try to win.
Wow.
Listen, we all can't be homers here. We got to be realistic. We got to do some yin to your yang, Chris. Go ahead, take the Magic.
I'm not taking the Magic. I'd rather take the
Bucks. We're still sitting there.
This is going to cement Doc's hate, our hate for Doc. If no one takes Milwaukee in this,
I don't believe. And I'll wait until we're done this exercise. But I got something to say about another thing to say about the Bucks. But I'll take Golden State then.
Oh, damn it, Guest.
So that's who
I'm taking all the OGs.
I wanted to take Miami and
Steph.
Golden State, but I thought that was too risky.
Yeah, I'll take them. Because we just said either one of them or the Lakers, are primed to upset Oklahoma City. They got the men to do it. Now, the Thunder's only chance, I think, is if they just outrun those teams out the building. Obviously, the Warriors and Lakers are a little bit longer in the tooth, so to speak. All right. So if the Thunder can run them out the gym, then they might have a shot. But if you're playing a lot of half court, I mean, you trust Chet against AD or Draymond. You know Draymond's definitely roughing Chet up.
Oh yeah. He's licking his chops.
It's time to earn some stripes, young boy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. So I'll take Golden State.
All right, Al, back to you for two.
And Golden State has that Pajemski kid. I'm a big fan. Is that how you say it? Pajemski?
Yeah, he's from
Podziemski.
Santa Clara, was it? Or what?
Yeah. He's from Santa
that
Clara, but he went to Wisconsin. He's a lefty,
Yeah.
right? They got Pajemski, and you know who they're going to get in this year's draft.
Who
To go along with Pajemski as the backcourt of the future over there in Golden State. Golke. They're going to get Golke.
New Splash Brothers.
Golke and Pajemski.
Saw some mocks that had Bronny coming to South Philly.
Dude, what team would not draft him? You'd have to be stupid not to draft him.
Well, especially if you're picking in the 20s, you might as well.
Yeah. Dude, you are definitely getting LeBron if you draft him. What the hell are we talking about here? Are you kidding me?
LeBron is like 45, still averaging like 28. Now,
Dude, he would go to Charlotte if he needed to.
Yeah.
What did he finish with this year, LeBron? I'm trying to look this up real quick. Anybody know off the top of their head?
No, I'll look it up. Who's up? Al, you're up?
Yeah, is this the last pick? Are we only doing 15?
No, we're doing six each, so 18.
So I got 2 picks here.
26, 7, and 8 he averaged.
All right. I'm gonna take who's left? The Magic, the Pels. I'm not taking Zion's fat ass. I'll take the Kings. I'll take the Kings here.
We came to see the Kangs.
I'll take the Kings because if they do end up beating Golden State and then upsetting either that 7 or 8 seed, whether it's New Orleans or the Lakers, I think the Kings have a little bit of revenge on their mind from last season when they had the early exit, which we all predicted. So I think that the Kings getting to play the young team now in Oklahoma City could potentially be that upset. And then, I have Oklahoma City as well, so it wouldn't matter. And then I'll do it. I'll take Milwaukee. I didn't realize we were taking 6 teams, so I'll go ahead and I'll take Milwaukee.
Boo.
We'll take them off the board here. And Adam, you can take the Magic, and Guess you can take the Bulls or the Hawks. Let's go ahead and wrap this up.
Guess you're up for your last pick here.
Well, this is the Trae Young farewell tour for the Hawks.
So according to my rankings, there's 4 teams left. You have Orlando, New Orleans, Chicago, and Atlanta. Those are the 4 that are still on the board.
Do it, Guest. Ice Trae.
I'm gonna take the Magic so the Celtics can't
Good
pick.
for you. Good for you.
You should have taken them earlier and rode for your guys. And now you're gonna let the villain like me take them to just throw them on the bench and let them ride.
Love it.
All right. I'll finish up. I'll take the Pels. All right. So I'll run through the teams really quickly here, and then we'll jump into segment 3. Adam has Boston, Phoenix, New York, Miami, Cleveland, New Orleans. Chris has Denver, Dallas, the Lakers, the Warriors, the Pacers, and the Magic. And then Al has Oklahoma City, Milwaukee, Philadelphia, Minnesota, the Clippers, and Sacramento. Al, your team's definitely the best, but you took Milwaukee, so it's kind of a violation.
Love my team. Did Chris take 2 play-in teams before he took 2 playoff teams? Was that in order?
They're not your father's in what do you call it? I can't talk tonight. Play-in teams.
He took the Lakers with the 3rd pick.
Yeah, I did.
I don't know if those were in order.
I got faith in LeBron. By the way, let me just say one more thing about LeBron. So I said earlier, and I misspoke. So I want to correct myself. I said about the Thunder would have to outrun the old teams like the Lakers if they won a chance in the first round against those guys. The Thunder was the 8th ranked team in pace this year. The Lakers were actually 4th. So they can't outrun them because stats show that the Lakers are going to run more than the Thunder are going to run.
Well,
Which even more so makes me think that the Lakers will have an extreme high chance in that series.
if we don't get to this third segment, I'm gonna be running to the bathroom. So we better get this show on the road.
All right,
Somebody
let's
needs
get
to
to
Seltzer
segment
a
3.
Robitussin.
We're gonna play another game this week. It seems to be pretty popular. So we're gonna do who did he play for? So each of us have put together 4 players. We did at least one from each of the 3 major sports and then a wild card. And basically what it's going to be is you're going to name your player, and the other 2 guys are going to have to try and guess the teams that he played for, ideally in order. But if it's not in order, just try and get them the best that they can.
Yeah, the order's asking for a lot.
Yeah,
It is, but it's still, that's where I think we should start, at least try and get there. So I've gotten some criticism that my questions are too hard. So I tried to make it a little easier tonight, but I'll start for you guys. I have NBA to start, and we'll go with Dikembe Mutombo.
Should we try to go back and forth? Like I name a team, guest names a team, like if we're doing it in order.
Yeah, but you can also ask for help. I want you guys to work as a team.
Yeah. We're
working together here.
Yeah, we're on the same team, guys. But
All
let's try to go back and forth. So that one, you know what I mean? We're not just rattling them off one guy.
And we'll do hints. 6 teams for Mutombo.
All right. So he started on Denver.
That's correct.
And then he went to Atlanta.
That's also correct.
And then Philadelphia.
Correct.
And then I don't know what happened. He was on 6 teams?
3 more teams.
All right. I'm not pulling up him. I'm pulling up the list of NBA teams just so I don't have to sit here and think of them.
Dude, I honestly I don't remember where he went after us.
So the Sixers traded him.
Right, I know. I'm trying to remember where we shipped him to. I'm not thinking it was a big market.
I have a guess for one of the 3.
Do we get like 3 X's or what's the deal with
Yeah,
this?
we'll do 3 strikes.
Guess. I think he was on the Magic at one point. Oh, wait, Houston.
Yeah, he was on Houston.
Houston.
Houston's one, yeah.
Locking in Houston?
Yeah, that's definite.
Houston was the last team in his career. He was backing up Yao. So, yes, that is correct. That was the last team. So, you're missing teams 4 and 5.
Yeah, I went
Yes.
to Kemba.
I think he was on Orlando for some reason.
Yeah, see, I don't see him on Orlando. I don't see him on there. Oh man.
Who did we trade him to?
That's what's really getting to me is like, where did he go after us? And I literally have I keep seeing like Cleveland, but I don't remember him ever playing in a Cleveland uniform.
I don't either.
And
was he in Phoenix?
Phoenix seems to be a place where centers go when their careers are over. But I don't remember him being on Phoenix. Dude, I'll be honest. I didn't know he played for more than 4 teams. I don't remember the other 2 teams.
Toronto?
So the team that he was traded to, he only played 24 games for them. It was a midseason acquisition. And then the next year, the other team he only played 1 year with, but it was a full season. He played 65 games with that team.
Yes, I think Orlando was one of the teams.
All right, your guess is as good as I'll try it.
Orlando's not correct, so that's strike 2.
Okay.
1 more to go.
What was the other strike?
Oh, no. I mean, I was just thinking you asked how many strikes there were.
Oh, he's trying to screw us.
My apologies,
Still
fans.
pissed to be taking the Magic.
Yes, I don't know.
Get some Diamond Tap or something, bro.
Pick
I've
2
been thinking
teams.
about
What is going on?
I
I have
can't
no
kick it.
Delsim or something.
Yes,
What's
pick a team. I have no clue who these 2 teams are.
Uh,
You say Phoenix?
I almost wanted to just throw it away and just because I have no idea.
All right, they're tapping out.
Is Phoenix one of them?
Phoenix is not correct.
Is Toronto one?
Portland?
Toronto's not one of them.
All right, we're
Is
out.
Portland one?
Who?
Portland?
No. So the Sixers traded him to the Nets for Keith Van Horn.
Oh boy.
And then he went and played in the finals with the Nets against Shaq. And then
I
he
love
spent a year. He spent a year with the Knicks after that.
See, that was a dark year or two because you like those clowns, the Nets, and no one else gave a hot damn about that team.
That was
That
mine.
02 finals.
Let's go to Al here for the next one.
I think mine might be a little too easy, but we'll see. You want me to start basketball?
Whatever you want.
Well, you know what? I'll try to throw you off a little bit. We'll go to baseball. I got Manny Ramirez.
That's a good one.
That was a good one. All right, Chris. He started in Cleveland.
Right. Boston.
Then did he go to? Was it Boston to the Dodgers? Because he was on that playoff run with the Dodgers.
Yeah, he
was.
definitely was on the Dodgers.
It
How
was.
many teams was he on now?
He was on 5 teams total.
I know one more, and then there's one. I think I know both actually.
Did he find his way on Miami?
He was
No, but
not.
I think he was on Tampa.
He ended his career in Tampa.
Yeah, I knew it was one of those Florida
5
teams.
games, 17 plate appearances.
Whew. And I think he had a small stint with the White Sox.
That was before Tampa. 24 games, 88 plate
Yeah,
appearances.
that was when he was washed.
That's all 5.
Yeah, that was a good pull. I would have never got those.
Yeah, that's a good name though to throw out there. All right, Chris, you're up.
All right, so here's the deal. I'm going full heel mode tonight. All right.
Okay.
So if we want to play this game, we're going to play this game. All right. I'm going for you guys to tell me the 13 teams
Jesus.
that Ish Smith has played for in the NBA.
Well, Al, the good news is we can only guess. Majority of our guesses are going to be right.
Isn't he in the Who He Played For Hall of Fame on NBA on TNT?
Yeah, he's. I think he's not second. He's like third most teams of all time.
All right,
God, dude.
dude. I can't
COVID
stop.
24, dog. What's that about?
All right. Ish Smith. I have no. I can't get these in order, South.
No.
I'm not even
Yours
going
is
to ask.
out of the question. All right, so the Sixers for sure.
Right.
And the Pistons.
Now,
Right.
guess this is different teams or are we?
Yeah, we're not counting different stints.
Okay.
So it's all different. He's been on 13 different franchises. Some of them have been multiple times.
Yeah. So Al, who'd you say there? Detroit.
Yeah.
Charlotte is definitely one, and Washington is definitely.
Yeah, I knew Washington.
one.
So that's 4.
I feel like he played for New Orleans.
Yes.
Okay.
It's 5.
Yo, I'm looking at the teams, and it's like every team I can see an Ish Smith in their uniform.
It's actually probably the easiest to do it this way because he's played on half the league.
What about
You
what
literally
about
got a 1 in 2 chance to get them right.
Who'd you say?
Minnesota?
Minnesota is not one of them.
Ah,
Really?
God damn it!
Don't go to Al to play the roulette table.
No. I think I like Houston.
Houston's in there.
So we got 6.
Did you say Cleveland?
I don't know about
Do
Cleveland.
you want to say Cleveland?
Not yet.
Should I?
No. I'm drawing. I don't see him in a lot of uniforms, which is crazy.
I'll be
Chicago?
honest. Some of these teams.
I thought Chicago too.
Chicago?
Say it again.
Chicago?
Chicago is not on the list.
Damn. Atlanta?
Atlanta is not on the list. That's 3 strikes. All right. So he has Ish Smith has played. That's an L, guys. You couldn't you could, the Rockets. I'm just gonna go in the order of what I see here. The Rockets, which I believe you said, Seltzer.
Yeah.
Memphis.
Yeah, I was thinking them.
No one said the Warriors.
I don't remember that.
The Magic, Milwaukee, Phoenix was said. OKC,
Yeah.
the Sixers, the Pelicans, which was said. Detroit was said. Washington was said. Charlotte was said, and the Denver Nuggets. He won the title with the Denver Nuggets.
Shout out Ish Smith. Journeyman
So
is
there
a
you go,
kid.
13 teams.
All right.
More coming soon from full guest heel mode.
I've been everywhere, man.
All right. I'll go NFL. Let's go Brandon Marshall, the wide receiver, not the linebacker.
All right. Wait, did he start in?
But how many teams was it?
Also 6.
Man, really?
All right, there's 2 easy ones, guessed.
Yeah, so Denver and Miami.
Denver,
Right.
Miami's the first 2.
And then he was in Chicago.
Right.
That's the third team, correct?
I was all in on the Marshall and Jeffrey 1-2 combo there.
That was like the dying days of the Jay Cutler experience.
Yeah. Man, the Jets.
The Jets, correct. Yeah, that's the fourth team. So you got all 4 in order. Now, I'll be honest. After the Jets, he kind of fell off a cliff here. So these were 2 really short stops. I can get you guys
I'm gonna guess the Raiders.
is that official guess? That's not correct.
What do you think?
Another team where players go to die.
Dude, I gotta side with. I got a side note. I gotta side with Megan, man. Your cough is wild, dude.
Yeah, it's gotta go. It's gotta go. That's why she went to Boston. There was no one running in a marathon. She just running her ass out of that house.
You're muted. You're muted. You're still muted.
What about guess? How do you feel about Cleveland? I feel like that's where a lot of players went to die too in those years.
Browns. Browns.
So these 2 teams, he only played 5 games with one team. He only played 7 with the other.
We got strikes to play with. We can go. We can try the Browns.
Seltzer's got to compose himself.
He might not make it.
I can't even when I
He
call.
might
I
not
can't
make it
hear.
through this episode.
I can't hear.
We
What
said
was your guess?
Cleveland.
Cleveland's not correct. That's 2 strikes.
I don't mean to laugh at you being sick, but this is.
I feel fine. It's just a cough.
Yeah, I know. I bet it's probably allergy related, especially if you feel. Well,
Oh, the Giants.
The Giants is correct. He
Yeah,
played.
he wasn't in the 13. Okay,
That was his 5th team, and now he has 1 more.
Man. Maybe
Only
was it the AFC?
no NFC 2018 7 games 11 receptions 1 touchdown.
AFC. And what year was it? You said 2017, you said?
18.
Guess I kind of want to go 18.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
I kind of want to go San Fran.
I'll go with that.
It's not correct. So that's strike 3. It was actually the Seahawks.
No, I was not in.
Oh.
Nowhere in that.
I do vaguely remember him with the Seahawks.
All right, back to Al here.
All right, my boy, NBA, the glove, Gary Payton. He played for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams.
All right, I think we can get this one. So I'll start off with Seattle.
Okay.
Yep.
And
So
then go ahead.
I know 3 of the other teams. I'm just not sure of the order. No, I might know all 4. I don't know. So, was he on that Lakers team with like Karl Malone
Yeah, he
and?
definitely was on that team.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right,
When
so that's
when
probably
title,
next.
they were all title chasing.
And then, so wait. So we got
You got the
Seattle.
Celtics and you got the Lakers.
So
And that's not the right order. You missed the
that's
team.
not the right order.
Yeah, you missed the team.
So was he the Bucks in between?
The Bucks were in between.
Right. Yeah.
And then the final 2.
I want to say was he ever on the Heat?
Yes, he was on the title team for the Heat.
I have
That's
a Heat
Yeah.
Gary Payton jersey.
So my only question was whether or not he was on Boston before or after Miami, because he did have a little cameo in Boston. I think that's after Miami.
It was before.
Before.
Yeah, it was
How many games in
Seattle,
Boston?
Seattle, Milwaukee, the Lakers, Boston, Miami. He was.
How many
he
games
was
in
Miami.
Boston?
Say that again.
How many games in Boston?
A season, 77.
All right, that's
He barely played. Milwaukee was traded midway through the season.
okay.
So that was that was what I thought would be the hard one that you might have forgotten.
Oh, I
What was
remember
his last
again.
year?
Chris mentioned that I was a Nets fan for a cameo. I know the Nets played the Bucks that year in the playoffs. I remember going against. I remember him playing for that team.
What was his last year, Al? Like 2010?
It was the Dwayne Wade. It was the 06-07 season.
That was his last year. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to go back to the NFL, and I need you guys to name me the 9 teams that Josh McCown was on.
God, he really did go full heel, dude.
Dude, Jesus.
All right,
9 teams.
Eagles for sure.
Okay.
The Bucks.
Right.
The Lions.
Right.
The Browns.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that.
Yep.
I said the Lions. You said Tampa. Bears. He was a Bear.
Bears.
Was he a Jet? Or was that
Like-
Luke? Wait.
I like Jets. I like Jets.
Jets is right. Jets is right.
What about New Orleans? Al? Was he? No, I don't know if he was a backup there. Skip that. That's not right. I don't think that's right. How many total?
9.
So we got 6, Al.
All
Are
right.
you a Raider?
Was he a
I
Raider?
think it was actually the number's more intimidating than it really is if you think about it. He was
I'm
on the
gonna-
Raiders.
Let's
I've
go
been on a
Raiders.
Raider. Yeah.
Yeah, he's on the Raiders.
All right, so we got 7. We're missing 2. Can you give us AFC, NFC? Or do you want to keep going, Al? You want to hit?
Falcons?
I was thinking Falcons, but
No Falcons. Not
uh,
yet, anyway.
Yeah, NFC or AFC?
Both are NFC.
The Pack?
No,
Packers,
no, 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 no. Hold on, Chris. Don't give it. We're talking it out. I still feel Saints for. Wait, what about Carolina?
But was that Luke McCown or
Yeah, that might have been Luke. What about Carolina?
Carolina
Okay.
is right.
Okay. We got 1 left.
the Rams? Do you think the Rams?
Nah, I don't feel the Ram. I'm not feeling the Rams. yet. What about NFC East? So, I don't think he was a Giant. I don't think he was a Redskin. I don't think he was a Cowboy.
Did we say the Cardinals?
I like Cardinals.
Yeah,
Cardinals.
I like Cardinals too.
The Cardinals is correct.
Let's go.
So in summary, the Cardinals, Lions, Raiders, Panthers, Bears, Bucks, Browns, Jets, Eagles.
Let's go, Al.
Oh, that was big.
That's a big win.
Good job. That's what I said. It was the number's more intimidating than
Yeah, but those guys, those backup quarterbacks, backup point guards, they just mix together.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to give you guys my baseball one. I got 7 teams, although, no, 6 teams because one was a retread. The big unit, Randy Johnson.
You said 6 teams?
6 teams. He had 2 stints in one place. So we'll say 6.
So we know the Mariners.
Yeah.
Mariners, correct.
We know the Expos.
Arizona.
Correct. He started in Montreal.
Yep. The Yankees.
Arizona.
Yankees and Arizona are both correct. So you have 4 right there.
You
He
said,
actually had 2 stints in Arizona, believe it or not.
you said it's 6 teams.
Yeah, so you're missing 2.
All right. Did he have a cup of coffee with Florida? Al, do you remember if he was on Florida?
I don't remember. I don't, but I could be wrong.
Let's hold off on that. I don't know about that. Or Houston? Did he team up with the Rocket?
Like when they were out of their prime.
Yeah, just
I
2
don't
old
think
men.
Think so.
But Clemens never really. I mean, Clemens still was producing at the end too, though. He still was doing his little thing. But no, I don't remember. I'm not sure. See, this is tough.
Yeah. You try to picture the guy in the uniform.
Right.
Let me know if you want to hit. I can give you a hint.
Yeah, give us a hint.
Okay, so the one team you're missing was his last team. He won his 300th game there in 2009. And the other team was 1998, and he was acquired as a midseason pickup. Only pitched half a season there, but he was 10-1 with a 1.28 ERA while he was there in 1998.
Yeah, where I remember that. Who was that? 90 San Diego?
I'm waiting for final answers.
That's fine if you want to do that.
That's not correct. That's strike one.
98.
I'm trying to think of the playoff teams in '98.
Yeah, I'm doing that too. Did we say no? I don't feel good about that.
Any hint on what league? Or is that going to give it away?
It's not going to give it away. I can tell you that.
It was National League.
Both?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So we know it wasn't in the division then, in our division. It wasn't us. It wasn't the Braves. It wasn't.
Did we say the Giants?
We haven't said them yet.
Did he end his career there?
Well, you figure we played the Giants in 2010. I don't remember the year before that him playing with the Giants. I feel like it could be a shady team like the Rockies or something stupid.
It could be. I mean, we don't remember it, so it probably is, right? Right? I mean, that would be the thinking. We don't remember it.
And then who else is who's in the Central? The Brewers, they weren't good back then. The Cubs, the Reds, no, it wouldn't have been them. The Pirates, no. Someone's like, "Oh my God, just say somebody."
I like the Giants. We didn't say them, did we?
No, yeah, we could try that.
Giants is correct. That's where he won his 300th game. That was the end of his career.
That's cool.
All right. So now we need just the mid-season acquisition.
Man, and that's the one that's frustrating me because I can't.
Did we say Colorado?
No, but I think I'm thinking it was the Astros.
Yeah, but they were in the NL at the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Astros is correct.
Hey! Yeah, there you go.
I was already, I said National League or American League. I had to very carefully say he was National League.
All right.
Yeah, because now I remember him in those OG Astros uniforms.
Damn. All right.
Big deal. All right, Al.
All right. I'm up for my football one, but I went easy mode. I just don't feel like these compare to guests, so I'll stick with it because it's the one I had. I got Anquan Bolden. And here's what I'll do to make it maybe a little bit harder. I won't tell you how many teams.
All right. Arizona was the starting point. Who else you got, Chris?
Baltimore.
San Francisco. He was on Detroit a couple years ago at the end.
Oh, yeah, he was. Yeah. I don't like this hour. We don't know the teams. I feel like I'm swimming in the deep end of the pool.
I feel like there's somebody between Arizona and Baltimore, unless I'm wrong about that.
Can we get that hint out? Can you confirm that?
He was on. No.
I will.
He was on an even number of teams.
So what do we say? Do we have to say we're done, or are you going to tell us when we're done?
You gotta say when you're done.
So Arizona,
is there a
San
button
Fran,
to press?
Arizona,
Yeah.
San Fran. How many? We said 5 so far, right?
Yeah.
All right, so we're just missing 1. There's no way he's on 3.
No, you said 4.
No, we said 4 teams. We said Detroit, Baltimore, Arizona, and San Francisco.
That's it. There's no way there's 2 more.
Is he on Seattle too at some point?
I don't think so.
T.O. was on there, and what's his name we just did?
I'm ready to call it. I think it's 4. You're telling me I can't think of 2 more. If there's 1 more, maybe I think about it, but he wasn't a Texan.
No. No. Right? He was one of the Texans, was he? He can't freaking talk. All right, yeah, I'll go with you, Seltzer. I'll say 4.
That was it. I didn't know if you would get Detroit.
Yeah, I remember that the last. That was recent.
Yeah, 2016.
He had, that was the. I think he had a decent. He had a
If you
decent.
would ask me what year that was, I would have said like 21.
He had a
Yeah, you
decent
said a
fantasy
couple-
year that year. I
couple
think,
years
didn't
ago. It's almost a decade ago.
Yeah,
he? He had a decent fantasy year that year, if I remember correctly, didn't he?
Uh,
Might have had him.
he was okay.
tell you in a second. For Detroit, he played all
Yeah.
16 games. He had, well, yeah, actually, guessed he had 67 for 584, but he had 8 touchdowns.
Yeah.
That's not bad at all because you probably got him in like the 14th round.
Yeah.
All right, let's. This will be the final one here. So let's go to Chris to wrap it up since he's going full heel mode.
All right, so even though it's full heel, I'm gonna throw a bone at my boy Al here and go with his man, Kenny Lofton.
We did this already, and I got it. I got them all.
Yeah, like
When
go
did
to
we
work.
do
Kid.
that?
Go to work, kid. I think it was when you were out, dude.
Yeah.
Well, I got another guy in the chamber. If you want me to go to the other guy.
Yeah, dude, because I don't know if I could get it again, but I got it.
All right, so how about that Bartolo Colon?
Ooh,
Oh, God, how many teams does he have?
11
El
teams.
Guapo.
Oh my God.
I'd rather watch him bat, by the way, than Nick Castellanos.
All right, so Kansas City and the Mets.
That's where you're starting,
Yeah, Kansas City, the Mets, and Cleveland.
Cleveland. And then he went to Montreal.
Oh, slow down.
Okay.
So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't have Kansas City on this.
Yeah, I
He
wasn't
didn't
sure
play
about
for the
Kansas
Royals?
City.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. That's an X. He didn't play on the Royals.
Damn,
You got a little greedy there, Al.
I did.
I should have, but
How many teams, Al, or guest?
11.
All right. So you said Mets. That's definitely right.
The New York Mets.
Cleveland's definitely right. Montreal/Washington is where he went after Cleveland.
Yep.
He threw for Oakland for sure.
Yep.
The White Sox.
Yep.
I like that.
Uh,
He won Cy Young with the Angels.
did he play for the Rangers?
I like that. I mean, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We need 4 more.
I think he was with a lot of AL teams, right?
Yeah.
Like, was he? So wait, did we just say the White Sox? I'm brain dead.
Yeah, you
yeah,
did.
we
yeah.
said White Sox.
And then the Twins.
Yep, love the.
Yeah.
I like the Twins.
Yeah,
Good
it's a
pull.
good one. You're missing, to my recollection, you're missing. Probably should have. I should probably jot these down as you.
Did he have? I guess I'm not answering. I'm asking now. Did he have a short cameo in Boston?
I was going to say the Red Sox. I think so.
Guess Boston.
Boston is correct.
Yeah, let's go.
How many more?
1, 2, 3,
So-
4, 5, 6. 2 more, I think.
Yeah.
I
You're
keep coming
keeping-
back to the Dodgers.
You're keeping the tally, Seltzer.
I got 9 here.
All right. So, recite the 9 real quick so I can.
Cleveland, Montreal, the Mets, Oakland, White Sox, Angels, Rangers, Twins, Red Sox.
How do we feel about?
All right. So you're missing.
Wait,
2.
I keep coming back to the Dodgers. You don't like the Dodgers?
Not yet. Did you?
Okay.
Did you say Detroit?
I don't know if I like Detroit.
How do you feel about the Brewers?
I don't hate the Brewers, but I'm not ready to go there yet. I also see Cincinnati, but I don't think that's right either.
I don't see him in that big red ass
What
uniform.
about the Braves? Did he pitch for the Braves?
I don't think so. It could have been during those dark Phillies years though, where like I wasn't really paying attention.
Yeah, fuck. What about the Yankees? I feel like he was a Yankee.
Yeah, I like the Yankees. That's where
Yankees.
Yankees is correct.
one
One
more,
more.
2 strikes.
We got a lot of
What
teams.
was finale for this one, for this game? Down to the wire.
All right, I'm ready to cross out Reds. I don't think it's Reds.
I don't think it's Reds either.
You said
Was he-
Brewers, possible. I
was
don't
he a-
think it's.
Was he a Pirate?
Whoa. Let's go Pirates. Pirates.
Locking in Pirates.
Yeah.
That is incorrect.
Oh, we got one left.
Damn.
Good guess though. Al, let's go Dodgers.
All right.
Dodgers.
Dodgers is incorrect.
Oh, what was it?
You had it. It was the Atlanta Braves.
Wow.
What
It
year?
was the Atlanta- I just jotted the teams down from the list. I didn't capture the years, but I can tell you that right now. I can look it up in 2 seconds. So
Yeah, I mean,
he played on the Braves for
2017.
2017. Yep. So he's going to turn 51 on May 24th. Big,
Oh.
what was his nickname? Big Sexy, they called him. That's one of them.
He hit the homer and he just like, tried.
He was such a mess.
Yo, isn't there like an Indian baseball league? He's in that.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm not surprised at all. I feel like he's like the Yarmir Yager of baseball. Like he still finds a way to find a league and play in it at this
In a
age.
world where these pitchers keep getting hurt, he just had the rubber arm, dude. He could throw forever.
Yeah, he was chucking it.
Yeah.
Yeah, nickname Big Sexy.
So quickly, I don't want to go through it again, but just give us, Al, did you have a fourth name just so we can have the name out there?
Yeah, I did. Hold on, Carlos Beltran.
That's a good one. Gas, did you have a fourth one?
It was Cologne.
Okay.
I was gonna do Lofton at first, and then we
Gotcha.
scrapped that.
Yeah,
Al,
so
my
wait,
fourth, I
okay.
wanted to say the fourth name because it honestly would have been the second time he was brought up tonight. I actually had Ron Artest as my fourth name.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Who, Meta?
Yes, didn't he wear 93 with Sacramento?
Who, Meta or
Yeah.
Ronald? It was some whack number.
I thought it was
he had.
91.
Something like that.
I think it was 91 with the Lakers.
It was 99 or something.
Yeah, he's. I mean, obviously, he was a different guy.
Bartolo Colon was picked in the second round by the Karachi Monarchs in the baseball United draft.
This was what, this year
October, this past October,
in the second
was-
round.
second round pick.
Yeah, man, big fella still got it. He's probably still throwing like 89.
I'm trying to find the other.
I mean, I still couldn't hit him.
So, Al, you're right. I'm looking. I just Google imaged Ron Artest. 37 on the Lakers, 91 on Indiana, 93 on Sacramento.
Jesus, dude.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at this again, Al. So yeah, it does say Karachi Monarchs of Baseball United.
Yeah. Dude, Robinson Cano, Didi Gregorius, Pablo Sandoval, they're all in it. Andrelton Simmons.
Oh, this is the league, dog.
Dudes just like the ball, man.
Yeah, this is. Your league is dope when you don't even have league or anything like that in the title. It's
Yeah,
just
well-
Baseball United.
Well, we had a tag team that had the last name United in the name
yeah.
cast at one point. Chris Sabo is one of the managers.
Oh, goggles.
I'm surprised Pete Rose ain't in this league.
Yeah.
He
Metal?
manages somebody.
I enjoyed that game. I thought it was good. It was one of our better ones.
Yeah,
But,
it was good.
All right, listen. We'll all be watching on Wednesday night. Let's hope for the best, and let's hope the next time we're on, we're up 1-0 on the New York Knicks. But until then, let's drop that beat.